So, Karl, what is your favourite villain from Doctor Who?
Oh, it's the Daleks.
Of course.
Right,
Yeah.
Deadliest creature in the galaxy. They've got a whisk and a plunger. Terrifying.
Hey, they'll exterminate people with that whisk.
It's not a whisk, it's death ray, right?
Death rays. Good old death rays.
The power of the 60s, right? Of like, look at this whisk. No, it's death ray. Shut up.
So hello and a warm Wiki Weekends. Welcome to all the guys, gals and non-binary pals watching. I am Lucas Holland and I'm joined as always by Karl Smallwood.
Hello.
And today on Wiki Weekends, we are talking about the episode of Doctor Who known as Blink. And with the format of Wiki Weekends, we have got a wiki up on the episode and we're just going to use that as a jumping off point for a loose discussion on the topic and just probably go off on a lot of tangents.
Yes, and how do we decide to talk about this topic, Lucas? Because it wasn't organically reached by either of ourselves, was it?
You know, I had a rough idea, but we did put it to a Patreon vote, and generally over the last month or so in spooky season, we have been trying to do a different format this year where you mainly talk about spooky stuff and I mainly avoid spooky stuff because I'm not a big horror fan. But I thought, because it's right around Halloween, I would do spooky themed-ish episodes of TV and whatnot in non-spooky shows.
Or historically non-spooky shows, like Doctor Who.
The vote that I put up on the Patreon was between Community, the episode Epidemiology, which is basically a zombie episode.
You have to destroy the brain!
Cowboy Bebop, Toys in the Attic, which is basically the thing in Cowboy Bebop.
Let's go, slimeball.
Doctor Who Blink, which we are, of course, talking about today, and then The Simpsons, The Treehouse of Horror 5 specifically, because I think that's maybe my favourite one.
I was thinking along the lines of no TV and no beer make Homer something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
But yeah, we're not here to talk about Homer go crazy. We are here to talk about the episode of Doctor Who, Blink.
Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast, faster than you could believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away and don't blink.
I'm not the biggest fan of Doctor Who. I was aware of this episode. I watched it many years ago, so I reminded myself of it. I'm like, man, this is a really solid, tight 40 minutes of television that has a, admittedly, quite spooky concept.
Yeah.
And then I went and looked up clips to see if there's anything I missed. And it's like, oh, they came back in 4 more episodes and got less scary every time.
They very, very quickly just drove that concept into the ground, right?
And Lucas, you're not the biggest fan of horror, but are you at least aware of the most basic rule of horror of all, of the less you know about the monster, the scarier it is? It's like, let's have entire episodes where we tell you what the weeping angels are.
That's one thing, obviously full spoilers for the episode Blink, and generally we might just discuss spoilers for, the other Doctor Who episodes with the weeping angels in them.
I can give people spoilers for those subsequent episodes that aren't Blink. They all suck.
Yeah, Blink, fantastic, one of the most iconic modern Doctor Who episodes. From the whole, last 20 years worth of Doctor Who, this is one of the ones people talk about the highest, but...
No, it's why we wanted to talk about it today, right?
Yeah. The rest of them, just, you don't need to know.
When I was, rewatching some of the clips from the later episodes, something that struck me is... So are you aware of, one of the main criticisms of Stephen Moffat's tenure on Doctor Who?
I generally know that the writing has been considered to just kind of get worse over time.
Yeah, it's that after a certain point, Moffat stopped writing interesting stories, and instead every story revolves around how much of a special, wonderful boy the Doctor is.
Right,
and that bleeds over into Sherlock, where Sherlock is just absolutely fucking god-awful, because you get to the point where Sherlock is solving problems with information he got off-screen, purely because Stephen Moffat, as a writer, didn't want the audience to figure it out first.
That's kind of been a staple of Sherlock throughout, but especially the earlier couple of seasons, it feels like there's elements. It's not necessarily that you can solve the mystery, but it feels like you can maybe solve the mystery. Spoilers, obviously...
Spoilers, this show also fucking sucks.
It got to a bad point, yeah. And, I loved Sherlock originally when it came out, but it's a rough rewatch when you realise kind of, how bad the writing actually is. But when they tease Moriarty coming back from the dead, and it's
at the end of every season.
Yeah,
they do it 3 times.
There's a time where he, gets shot. You see on screen, he is, he's gone. Then it's oh, did you miss me?
Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Did you miss me?
And it's it turns out, oh yeah, he just set up somebody else to do things for him. It's he's not actually back. It's okay.
Getting back to those Sherlock of how did he get away with it? How did he fake his own demise? Mm-hmm. I am fully on board with the theory that someone on Tumblr figured it out, and Stephen Moffat is such a petty arsehole. he couldn't stand someone figuring it out. And just rewrote it. It's no. Half of that episode is them making fun of people theorizing about it. They have obvious audience stand-ins asking, Martin Freeman of how do you think he did it? It's it doesn't matter how he did it, and you're stupid for trying to figure it out. It's it's a mystery show.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They have the Sherlock fan club that's maybe he did this, maybe he did that.
The not so subtle swipe at Tumblr where one of them says, "I think Sherlock and Moriarty are in a gay relationship." That's stupid.
What? Are you out of your mind?
I don't see why not.
It's so heavily hinted at that Moriarty has affection for Sherlock in that show.
Oh yeah, Stephen Moffat queer baiting the fuck out of people and then making fun of them for reading into the obvious symbolism he put in.
And then it turns out they're half brothers or some crap. Anyway. Speaking of things falling apart, Karl.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I will just mention as well, I've got no background image right now because half of my hair is almost the exact key of my green screen behind me. And editing last video was such a ball ache, and my hair was still a problem even after hours of trying to fix it. I'm just having green behind me today.
You missed a trick not photoshopping in a weeping angel and making it get closer each time, right?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that would have been such a good gimmick to have a weeping angel really far in the background. Each time you cut to a clip, have it move a bit closer. I'm imagining, though, as a lot of people out there probably still get anxiety from that image, because there's all those stories of people who I set someone's Windows background to filter between 100 identical photos and one weeping angel. So every now and again they get jump scared.
Oh, but yeah, going to the Weeping Angels here, Karl. Blink is the 10th episode of the 3rd series of the British sci-fi television series Doctor Who. It was first broadcast on the 9th of June 2007 on BBC One. And yeah, this was earlier than I thought, because as I mentioned, there's been 20 years now of modern Doctor Who. And I didn't realise that this was quite so early on, but it does make sense, the Martha season 3.
Yeah. And yeah, as mentioned, they just kept bringing this villain back because they eventually got to the point where they realised, we can't write interesting stories. Oh, sorry, Moffat can't write interesting stories anymore.
No, but did with this one. And
he did with this one, yeah. He's good at writing standalone stories. He can't write an overarching narrative.
Yeah, and it says here that the episode is actually based on a previous short story written by Moffat for the 2006 Doctor Who Annual, which was called What I Did on My Christmas Holidays by Sally Sparrow. And Sally Sparrow is the main woman that you see and follow throughout this episode of Blink. Doctor Who, if people have been living under a rock for 60 years and they don't know, is a TV show that's about a time-travelling and space-travelling alien that basically spends most of their time in, the middle of modern-day Britain at some point because of budget reasons. But, this episode is almost entirely missing the Doctor.
Yeah, it's one of the most British shows ever because it's about a smug British prick waltzing in and telling you he's better than you and solving the problem.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, that's the things when I was watching the late episodes featuring the Weeping Angels, there's a line that just made me go, man, this makes the Doctor seem like such a knobhead. Is where like someone needs to sacrifice themselves. Doctor, I'm like a time paradox. I can sacrifice myself, and the Doctor's like, even if you sacrifice 1,000 of yourself, it's not worth one of me. It's like, all right, dickhead.
I'm a complicated space-time event too. Throw me in.
I'll be serious. Compared to me, these angels are more complicated than you, and it'd take every single one of them to amount to me, so get a grip.
Between every season of Doctor Who, there are good episodes and bad episodes, and good writing and bad writing. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, it got specifically bad when this Doctor came in or whatever.
No, there's some stinkers in there.
There's a lot of stinkers between, like, the last 20 years, yeah.
It's like SNL, right?
Yeah.
They have bad weeks, they have really bad weeks, then they have weeks that are alright.
Yeah, like, SNL should primarily be consumed by finding clips on YouTube and nothing else.
Yep.
Because just most of it's not funny. I'm sorry, Americans. I'm sorry.
I feel like I have to tell you, he's dressed like Indiana Jones.
What?
I'm not supposed to say what they look like, but yeah, he's in head-to-toe Indiana Jones.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what is Indiana Jones?
In this episode, the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, is actually trapped in 1969 and tries to communicate with a young woman in 2007, who is Sally Sparrow, played by Carey Mulligan, and he is trying to prevent the statue-like Weeping Angels from taking control of the TARDIS, because
yes,
like it later mentions that essentially the Weeping Angels are things that appear like statues but are actually sentient alien beings that feed off the potential of time. And it's like, if you've got a TARDIS, which is a box with unlimited, potential to travel through time and space.
MacGuffin energy. It's powered by MacGuffin energy, yes.
It is, yeah. Like, that's prime time for the Weeping Angels. That's what they're after.
The blue box, it's my time machine. There is a world of time energy in there. They could feast on forever, but the damage they could do could switch off the sun. You have got to send it back to me.
Great as well, because when they're talking about how they don't move, like they only move unless you're not looking at them, and they have that moment where it's quite clever, but in the background they're not looking at the Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
But we are as an audience. That's one of the cool things about that. Like, well, why don't they move when the characters don't know they're there yet? We're looking at them. That's like one of the things that makes the episode so anxiety-inducing.
One of like the kind of meta things about the episode, right?
Yeah, it's a clever bit of storytelling, because like once you find out how they work, if you find something, wasn't that a plot hole? No, because you're looking at them, and then that leads to the really great ending, right? Where it's just the montage of statues throughout the world.
Don't turn your back. Don't look away. And don't blink.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, as an adult, way more cheesy than I realised, but...
Well, that's Doctor Who.
It's Doctor Who, yeah. It's a family show. I'm not necessarily saying it's a show specifically for kids, but it's meant to be for all ages, right?
Yes.
And
goofy sci-fi nonsense.
Yeah, it got me. I was like 15 years old when this aired, and again, I'm not great with horror. Yeah, it just goes to the point of, well, that episode was pretty scary for a Doctor Who episode, and that concept is very scary, of like, these things are going to get you the moment you stop looking at them. And then, yeah, as you say, there's just a montage at the end of just showing statues everywhere, all across Britain. They're actually potentially just Weeping Angels everywhere, and it's just that they're in the public eye, so someone's always looking at them.
And you know what? That's a great ending for an episode that never got a sequel.
Exactly right. That's the perfect way to end the Weeping Angels as a concept, is just, they might be everywhere, and you've just got to hope that someone's always looking at them. And then instead, yeah, they just, as I say, drive it into the ground.
The fact that they have the Statue of Liberty be revealed to be a Weeping Angel, and it somehow sneaks up... And it somehow sneaks up on the main characters by walking through New York, and they don't even have a plotline of they're the only people in New York. New York is still as populated as it always is, but somehow no one was looking at the Statue of Liberty long enough for it to sneak up on the main characters.
I always wanted to visit the Statue of Liberty. I guess you got impatient.
Not only is no one looking at the Statue of Liberty, no one's looking at the moving Statue of Liberty.
Not to mention as well, the idea that the Statue of Liberty is a weeping angel is so fucking stupid, because we know it was built.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of the weeping angels being like those random statues you see in parks that you don't know when they were built, and they've seemingly been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're to the point where they're just part of just the landscape and the backdrop of your life. They might actually be a monster. When it's the Statue of Liberty, we've got fucking photos of it being built.
It's like turn around and be like, yeah, the Eiffel Tower was one too, right?
To be fair, if the Eiffel Tower suddenly started fucking walking, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be great.
If the Eiffel Tower stood up like a spider and started running at people, that'd be amazing.
This episode is really good because we often talk about the fact that good and great horror is about the suspense, not about the reveal, right?
It's not always part of it, but tension is a very good way of getting people to feel tense.
Yes,
and I believe
exactly.
the Hitchcock quote about tension, the way he summed it up is there's a bomb under a table, and we, the audience, know there's a bomb under the table, but the people sat at the table don't. That's tension. And it's like, we know there's a weeping angel behind the characters. They don't know it's there yet.
Catherine Wainwright. But she specified I should tell you that prior to marriage, she was called Kathy Nightingale.
Kathy?
We slowly, as an audience, find out more bits over time throughout the episode about what the Weeping Angels are doing. And Sally gets like a letter from her friend who gets sent back in time because that's how the Weeping Angels, kill you. They don't kill you, they just teleport you back in time and feed off your potential future. And that's a really interesting concept. But yeah, she gets told by a friend that was just in the house with her, hey, I've had to send my grandson on the moment I disappeared to send you a letter to explain everything that's happened to me across my life. And it's a really cool concept of like we're learning a bit more than Sally is, but kind of most of the reveal is kept until the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Yes, I also like the conversation they have with the Doctor from the future, and it's based on the notes the other guy is writing, and because they have the bit where the Doctor reveals, I'm reading from notes that guy wrote, and that guy doesn't understand the technical jargon that I'm saying, so he just puts timey-wimey space stuff.
Obviously, it's one of those time loop paradox
Bootstrap
things,
paradox, right? I think that's the term for a time paradox where there's no explanation for how the thing initially came into being.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's Doctor Who, right? And it's like, time travel is a fast and loose. It's more a guideline for that series than it is a...
As he says in the episode, it's not linear. It's like a messy ball of nonsense, basically.
Timey-wimey stuff, which is really funny, because but then it reveals later he's reading from a script. He's reading from the script that guy's writing. But that guy that guy's writing the thing Doctor Who is saying.
But then in other episodes, Doctor Who, or the Doctor, also speaks in that kind of way of just he explains to people it's wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Yeah.
So that might just actually be what the Doctor's telling them because he doesn't want to confuse them. And yeah, it is
fun, but at the same time it is a paradox.
But it's a really cool reveal where this guy has been it's her flatmate's brother was visiting, and he's like a DVD shop owner who's nerding out over these Easter eggs on 17 different DVDs.
Yes.
And it comes across as a half of a conversation, and he's along with other people on the internet, as they put it at the time, because it was 2007. She's like, oh, are you talking to people on the internet by any chance? He's like, how did you know?
Me and the guys are always trying to work out the other half.
When you say you and the guys, you mean the internet, don't you?
How do you know?
Spooky, isn't it?
So, okay, yeah, sure. That's just, writing of the time, but...
So you're a fucking loser if you spend any time on the internet, we say in our internet series.
She takes a jab at him for being on an internet forum trying to figure this out, but... Yeah, he and other people have put together, this transcript of what is said by the Doctor, but it's only half a conversation, and then towards the end of the episode, Sally reaches the point in time where she has the conversation with the DVD extra.
Yes.
And then he freaks out and he's like, oh, I'm going to start writing this down. And as you say, that then becomes the full transcript, which then gets given to the Doctor at the end of the episode.
In the future.
To then go and record. And she's like, at some point you'll get trapped in the past. You'll need this.
One day you're going to get stuck in 1969. Make sure you've got this with you. You're gonna need it.
Doctor! Yeah, listen, gotta dash. Things happening. Well, 4 things. Well, 4 things and a lizard.
Okay.
As I said, it's a paradox, but
yeah,
the episode, like, Doctor Who kind of gets away with that sort of thing because, yeah, it's more a guideline. It reminds me a bit of another British show that deals with sci-fi concepts, Red Dwarf, where Red Dwarf, similarly in some episodes, deals with like these sci-fi concepts like time travel and stuff like that. But they always had the out of it because it's a comedy show. So if something doesn't technically make sense, we always get that out of, well, whatever's funniest in the moment works.
And I do think that Doctor Who gets away with it because of like the tone of the show as well, right? Of like,
yes,
when you've got David Tennant being very charming, going, it doesn't really matter, time is complicated. You're like, okay, sure, let's just roll with it. Suspension of disbelief and all that jazz.
Okay, let me get my head around this. You're reading aloud from a transcript of a conversation you're still having.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
I mean, it's not important to a story that's being told, and they don't dwell on it too much.
It's more important in the sense of like it's important that it doesn't need to make sense so that you can just have a good, cool episode, right?
Yes.
There's also another character that gets sent back in time, which, God, it's like a really kind of harrowing kind of concept again of like getting sent back in time because she goes to the police, and I do like the idea that she's in a DVD shop and there's another guy, like one of the other owners of the shop. She walks out and he's like screaming at the TV of like, woman, just go to the police, go to the police. Like, why does no one ever just go to the police when there's a problem? So she just goes to the police. Sally's like, yeah, it's probably what I should do as a reasonable character. Like, just...
Yeah, and it doesn't work because the police don't believe you.
Well, that's the thing is, police do kind of believe, like, there's a guy, Billy, who, fair play to Billy, is like, oh, I'm busy, looks up, sees that Sally's hot, and he's like, actually, yeah, I'm done for the day, let's go.
That's realistic, right?
Like, shout out to Billy of just dropping everything at the hat for this woman, but he's like, okay, yeah, I've been investigating this case. We've had like 10 different cars in this parking lot appear at this house, and then just the people are gone. At which point, just stop going to the house, right? Like, tell people, please don't go to this house.
I think after the 6th person you'd launch an investigation, 9 seems excessive.
I don't know the exact number of cars, but there's like quite a few in there.
It's more than you chalk up to chance, right?
Yeah. And yeah, it's like they he basically ends up getting her number, and he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll definitely call you. And then he gets touched by a weeping angel and gets sent back into the past. And it's like...
Are you on duty, Detective Inspector Shipton?
Nope. Knocked off before I left. Told them I had a family crisis.
Why?
Because life is short and you are hot. Drink.
Cock-blocked by the weeping angel. There's only one person with rock hard here, and it's me, not you. Bam! Back in time.
Yeah, she immediately gets a phone call from him saying like, hey, I need you to come visit me in hospital. I've got a message to tell you. And it's him, like, on his deathbed.
He's an old man. He had to wait. He had to wait all that time. He got blue ball for 40 years.
There's a man in 1969. He sent me with a message for you.
What man?
The doctor.
You know, he's like, oh, you know, I had a happy life. I also ended up marrying another woman named Sally. Like, all things were good. I've lived my life. But goddamn.
To be fair, they were arranging one fucking date. Calm down, mate.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm upset that we never got that date, but, you know, I had a good life. And then it turns out that he's the one who, he got into, like, video production, and he's the one who snuck the extras onto the DVDs, and it's specifically 17 DVDs, because that's the collection of DVDs Sally has at home. I think it's a really fun and interesting use of time travel and time loops and stuff like that in this episode.
Also, as well, like, really good use of limited time and money, because if I'm remembering correctly, this episode was written because they had no money left for the season. Went, we need a villain who doesn't fucking move.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, we haven't got the budget to like make a costume for an alien or a monster, and we haven't got like a lot of budget for sets and stuff. It's like, okay, we're gonna just write a really small, self-contained episode.
Yeah, it's not
as a villain that literally doesn't move, or at least doesn't move on camera.
Yeah, and it's not a literal bottle episode. There are a couple of different sets, but it is mostly confined to a couple of flats and a DVD shop.
Yes, it's a very, very limited production, but you don't even notice it all that much just because of, like, the quality of the acting, the hook of the initial premise, and the monsters being quite scary. It's why, like, the whole thing about, wait, that's a time paradox, shut up, the monsters are scary.
It's a good example of doing more with less, right?
Yes, because I was going to mention, are you familiar with the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer called Hush?
I don't remember it specifically, so...
if you thought the Weeping Angels were scary, wait and see the fucking monsters from Hush. I'm going to send you a picture of them, Lucas.
I remember that visual, yeah.
So it is like an episode where there's a group of like monsters who steal people's like voices, and if you talk, they kill you, or something like that. And it was written for a bet to see if they could make an episode of the show that had almost no dialogue. So then, one, how would you even get around to? How would you even explain that to an audience? Well, let's have a villain who you're not allowed to speak near.
The visual of that actually reminds me of another villain that I probably want to talk about when it comes to Doctor Who at some point later down the line.
Okay.
But briefly mention them here of the Silence. They are the kind of Slenderman-esque looking things of just the like tall white aliens in the suits.
Just having really tall thin guy in suit is a strong visual. So strong in fact that the lead like group of the Hush monsters is Doug Jones, who always plays that guy.
Right, okay, yeah. Do you need like tall, slender guy in some weird outfit? Get Doug Jones, yeah.
Get Doug Jones. It's his whole deal.
And yeah, the Silence are super interesting as a concept. Again, the writing as they got more and more episodes in Doctor Who became weaker, and just kind of it's more interesting as a concept than as a recurring villain. But
yeah,
the idea of the Silence is just that the moment you look away from them, they're kind of almost the opposite of Weeping Angels, of like the moment you look away from them, you forget you've ever seen them.
Yes. It's not a unique concept by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still a fun one to explore.
It's a really fun one, and it makes for, again, kind of horror-y vibes, where I remember there's one scene or one kind of episode and, mixture of scenes where the characters go, okay, we all run around with markers, and every time you see a member of the Silence, put a tally on your like arm or whatever. Mark it so that you can see that you've seen one of them. And then there's a moment where just, like, I think it goes dark for a second and there's like a lightning flash, and you see that the characters are just covered in tally marks all of a sudden.
Just hundreds of them.
And, like, yeah, it's gone from 0 to 100 very literally within, like, 1 second. It's just a really cool, scary concept.
I'm a big fan of like the threat in like a horror movie or a TV show that's trying to have a spooky episode that has very clearly defined rules, and then watching the characters figure out how to get around those rules. Are you familiar with It Follows? I've probably not watched it because it's a very scary movie, but very, very basic concept of, hey, once you have sex with somebody, you get followed by this entity. And right at the start of the movie, the guy who's like, the only way to avoid being killed is keep running away, or have sex with somebody and pass on the curse. And the dude who he passes on the curse to someone, like he basically grabs them and says, "You see that thing over there? That's going to kill you. It won't always look like that, but when it catches you, it'll kill you. Stay away from it. I'm really sorry." And he just runs off and just leaves her to deal with it.
Fucking hell.
And you have like and once you've established that multiple points through the movie, if you look in the background, like the Weeping Angels, you'll sometimes just see an extra walking towards the main character, and they don't see it, but you can see it, and you're never sure, is that the thing,
or is it just somebody just walking in that direction?
And it plays with it so much, and then you have a moment in the film where they try and trick the thing of like, well, it just walks in a straight line, right? Let's just put a hole in the ground and it'll fall in. And then it doesn't, and then the thing turns, and which suggests that it's actually more intelligent than you think, and it's only choosing to obey those rules to give you a chance.
Like, I find that so funny as an idea of, what if we just put a hole in front of it? Like, can you imagine if that was the actual way to stop the monster from that movie? Just put a hole in front of it.
They try and do that. They think, like, what about if we just put a fucking hole in the ground and it walks around? It's like, and it doesn't run, it walks very slowly. So you can run away from it, but then it will never stop.
It's similar to kind of like a lot of the classic kind of like slasher horror villains, right? Of like Michael Myers, he's not going to just run fun pelt at you, but he's never going to stop. He's just going to walk at you.
Well, that one scene in Halloween where you see him driving a car. Speaking of in the background, you see like the Michael Myers in the background of a shot driving a car, and it's really funny because you see him like check both ways before he turns.
Just when he gives the fuck up, he's like, just get a car. I can't be arsed.
Just the idea of Michael Myers driving a car is terrifying, because I still imagine him following you but driving really slowly. He just really slowly runs you over like that one Austin Powers movie.
Going back to like the concept of the silence, I do really like their solution for that, and obviously spoilers for like one way in part of Doctor Who where they managed to solve the problem of the silence in that arc. But they, I think it's like they get like the president, I want to say. But either way, they put out a public broadcast of just, hey, look at these things. If you ever see one, kill it on sight. And that's all they say is like public broadcast about, hey, if you ever see this, kill it without ever thinking. Just second one, kill it. And then, like, it just goes to a montage of people like, because obviously it's like America, everyone's just got a gun apparently.
Yeah.
And it's like, just, everyone turns around, sees one's right behind them and shoots them. It's like, yeah, cool.
Small step for man. You should get us all on sight. You should get us all on sight.
I get it if you want to end the episode, but the wider implications of that are horrifying.
Oh, no, yeah. It's like a fun way to deal with that problem of that, that episode and that arc, but it's terrifying.
Likewise, I'm a big fan of when people say, fuck it, I'm just going to punch the monster. Like, there's one of the Halloween movies, like one of the later ones, like the reboot, which is fucking awful. There's a moment where everyone in the town of Haddonfield says, fuck it, Michael Myers is just a guy, right? And they just get an entire mob of people to just beat him with baseball bats for 30 minutes straight. It's like, it doesn't work, but you've got to respect, like, this dude has been terrorizing us for 40 straight years, and it's very obvious who he is, because he's just a guy in a boiler suit and a white spray painted William Shatner mask. Just beating with baseball bats, and they just beating with baseball bats.
There is kind of like a supernatural element to Michael Myers.
There is, which is, it's undefined, which is what makes him scary. Of like, you're not clear how much of it is supernatural, how much of it is just he fucking loves killing people.
Because like, even in like the first movie, he gets pretty nailed by Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Like she like takes his eye out or something.
And she throws him out the window. It's like, it's one of the perfect endings to a horror movie. Do you like similar to the Weeping Angels ending, where it's like a montage of all the statues? The ending of Halloween, the original one, is Michael Myers is thrown out of a window, and she looks out the window and he's not there. And the end of the film is just a montage of dark corners in your house.
Oh, right.
And the implication there is Michael Myers might be waiting for you around one of these corners. And it turns out, like, go fast forward 15 movies, an entire town's worth of people just beating with baseball bats.
It's one way to try and solve the
thing is,
problem.
it almost works. They just get too cocky, and it's just really funny. I like the idea of at a certain point, right? It's like, after a certain point, wouldn't people just get sick of this dude coming around every? You know when he's coming to get you, and you know what he looks like. Just fucking beating with a baseball bat.
Oh god, that's good.
They eventually actually super get Michael Myers, and they just Jamie Lee Curtis throws a fridge on him. And then all the people of Haddonfield just feed him into a meat grinder.
Oh god!
And it's like it works, but it's just the idea that after 15 movies they thought it's just a guy, just fucking shoot him. And like I said, they just throw him into a meat grinder, and like, because how many horror movies? Do you know the whole classic horror movie trope of the guy's on the ground and they just leave them there, and then they come back. It's like you have it in Scream a bunch, right? Where it's like, just shoot them when they're on the ground, make sure they're gone.
Yeah.
That movie seemingly just answers that of like, yeah, we're just going to feed him into a fucking wood chipper, get rid.
That's one hell of a double tap. Like, just grinding down.
It's just more how over the top it is. It's like, it makes sense, right? Like, this dude's, every time you thought this dude was dead, he just comes back. Or you arrest him and he gets out of prison, fucking throw him into the meat grinder.
However, that does make it way more terrifying when he comes back next Halloween.
It's difficult to talk about without knowing too much about it, but they did potentially set up the perfect sequel of having like Michael Myers' powers transferred to another person. And like the final film that was released had this really great arc of this character slowly becoming almost like Michael Myers' apprentice, but apparently like studio notes are like, no one's gonna like this if Michael Myers isn't the villain. It's like, but it's a more metaphorical thing that like Michael Myers is he represents evil, and to show like the evil can corrupt, so no, make it Michael Myers. So they make the last 10 minutes of the movie, Michael Myers turns up as a slap fight with Jamie Lee Curtis, and then they feed him into a meat grinder.
Right. Okay. Fair.
Because test audiences didn't like that Michael Myers wasn't the villain. It's like he's been the villain for 14 movies.
I do like the idea Michael Myers is just a man, so pass it out.
Well, that's what they tried. They tried one movie in like a dozen that actually tried something interesting. Test audience like, no, I want Michael Myers as the villain.
Yeah, of course. It kind of feels like the problem with the Weeping Angels in the end, right? Of like,
keep putting them back
Blink
in, right?
was so good that fans of Doctor Who, the Whovians, they constantly just like, the Blink was great, bring back the Weeping Angels, and it's
they were great because it was a limited concept, and the more you explore them, the less scary and effective they'll be. It retroactively makes them less scary because you now know more about them.
When I went to rewatch Blink, I actually didn't realise how short Act 3 was in my head. There was kind of a series of events of them knowing, that don't blink. But it's pretty much, they get told that, and they peace out.
Yeah, how annoying was it for you as well that you can clearly see them blinking multiple times? Like, when I was watching, like, some of, like, the sequels, I didn't watch the full episodes, but I watched, like, the scenes of the Weeping Angels. Like, they have a bit where they're in a corridor, and they're like, okay, the Weeping Angels at the end of the corridor, and they say, don't blink. And then multiple points throughout that conversation, people turn all the way around to continue having a conversation. And it's like, the fuck are you doing?
I mean,
and I get, presumably, they're expecting somebody else to be watching them, but surely there was some sort of communication. Okay, I'm going to blink now. Can anybody watch them?
That's one thing that Sally, for the most part, was relatively reasonable with the information she had throughout the episode. And then when they immediately get told, like, when they actually figure it out and the conversation actually happens of like, do not blink, don't blink, they will get you. She leaves the guy to just stare at the statue and runs away. And he's like, don't worry, I'll be back. And he's like, Sally, I can't do this for much longer. I need to blink.
Sally, please, I can't do this! Sally, hurry!
And as you say, you could just stand there, slowly walk back and go, right, I'm going to blink now. Okay, now it's your time to blink. Now, and you can just go back and forth, but instead she just fucks off and leaves him.
And like I said, they have a later episode where it's like a bunch of military dudes, and just they having conversation where they're turning around when the Weeping Angels are like right there. Because they're not, and that's the thing, they don't really seem like much of a threat when the doctor's like, don't worry about it, I'm going to turn the lights off, but it'll be fine. So I guess it will be fine, because Doctor, he's right there. And people are clearly turning around when the Weeping Angels are there, they're clearly not fucking bothered by them.
But yeah, in Blink, they've already got rid of 2 of Sally's friends, so what would the third guy be, right? Like, just, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if at the end he got sent back into the Bast 2 and it was only Sally that got away. Most of it, you can get away with like them not knowing about the Weeping Angels, and that's why it's tense and scary, but the moment they know the mechanic behind it, the episode does a good job of going, okay, we're going to give you like a minute or 2 of them being under threat, and then the episode's over.
Because, like, the longer you spend with it, the more you're like, hang on, why did you not do this?
Yeah, it's wild to me that throughout the episode, they keep showing this big mirror, and you think it's going to come into play at some point, and it just doesn't.
Like, we're never going to top the cinematic masterpiece that is the Percy Jackson movie, where, do you know, like, the Medusa, where it's the classic tale of, like, I forget which one, I think it was Theseus, polishes his shield, maybe Perseus, polishes the shield and use that to look around corners. In Percy Jackson, he uses the back of his iPod.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, do you know, like the shiny metal bit of his iPod to find Medusa.
Blink is just a really good, fun episode, and just one short story that's 40 minutes long that has a lot of tension in it because the Doctor's not the one at risk. And, oh God, it was such a good standalone thing, and yeah, they couldn't resist at some point. Just, the Weeping Angels have got to come back because everyone's shouting at us about them.
It's like, I said the bit where people are turning around when they're right there.
Yeah.
Just turning around is like, we've not mentioned like in the SCP. Because we can't put a picture of it in because like, I think it's SCP-173. It's the exact same concept.
Okay. Right.
It's a creature that can only move when you're not looking at it. So it's like, so they have this, people don't know SCP, it's like this like fictional universe that is like user generated, and it's just coming up with like fictional monsters and creatures and artifacts. And one of them is this creature, SCP-173. It's a statue that when you're not looking at it, it just immediately comes behind you and snaps your neck. Nothing personal, kid. And like over the years, fans have come up with like multiple ways where like the SCP Foundation, it's like this beyond government agency. They use like expendable personnel who are like just from prisons and mental institutions and stuff. They talk about how we have to send people in groups of 4 who are trained on how to blink out of sync.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's like just random people on the internet. And then Stephen Moffat couldn't figure out something like that. A highly trained military group couldn't figure out, just like, when I say blink, you blink. And when I say not, you're not.
Yeah.
Instead, they just fucking turn around with their gun, pointing at each other with their guns, with their fingers on the triggers.
Yeah, and that, again, that's not Blink. That's a later episode with the Weeping Angels where it's like, yeah, a military group come across them. And it's like, could you not communicate and figure this out? And again, they have the Doctor there to be able to explain it, whereas the strength of Blink is that nearly all of the episode, again, they don't know how the Weeping Angels work. They're just this weird threat in the background that's scary.
It also plays into that thing of like, the characters in the show don't know how they work, but we as the audience do, which is a trope that I fucking hate, when people in a show have extra universe information they should not have because we, the audience, have it and they don't want to explain it again.
As an audience, you don't actually really know how they work until the main character finds out, until Sally finds out. Like,
but in the sequel episode, sorry.
Oh, in the sequel episode, I was going to say, because like, that's, again, one of the strengths of Blink is like, these angels are getting people and you don't quite understand how it works. Like, it's hinted at, but it's not fully explained until right near the end, and then problem solved a minute later.
Yeah, plus they have them talking and stuff like that, and it's like, for fuck's sake, don't have the silent, threatening enemy start talking to the Doctor, and then don't have the Doctor go, I've got a big dick and I'm going to kill you because I'm the Doctor and I'm the best, and then flushes them out into space while doing a one-liner. Cool. Like it's like the episode's like, it's like a million weeping angels and he just flushes them into space.
Blink is good because the Doctor would be able to solve this problem pretty easily because he knows how everything works and he's super clever, whereas it's way more believable when it's just a bunch of random people accidentally fell into this problem.
We get to watch someone use their intelligence and wiles to solve an issue. And one of the reasons why The Thing is one of the greatest horror movies ever made is that nobody in that movie is a fucking idiot. Everyone in that movie makes the best decision they're able to with the information available to them at that point.
Yeah, there's a few good thriller movies where that's the case, right? Like Alien as well. Where just in Alien, they are clever, competent people, but guess what? The alien is just better than you.
Yeah, and then you have like Blink, where it's like a highly trained military unit fucking turning around and talking with their... It's like, what are you doing?
Just, yeah, it's very frustrating when you see characters being idiots like that, especially when, again, these people are meant to be competently trained people. They're not just Sally from down the road that's checking out an old.
Well, that's the classic, right? Of a character can only a smart character can only be as smart as the writer. That's why Sherlock fucking sucked, because Stephen Moffat wasn't as smart as he thought he was, and that's why so many of like the Sherlock episodes end with Sherlock having information given to him from off screen you couldn't have figured out yourself.
Yeah, and not to say Stephen Moffat's an idiot. It's just that Sherlock Holmes is literally a super genius. Like, it's hard to write a super genius when you're not one. But yeah, I don't think getting through Blink was. And yeah, if you enjoy Blink or if you enjoyed this episode, then make sure to give us a like and remember to check if you subscribed, because I'm sure a lot of you aren't. But if you'd like to vote in our next Patreon poll, just check out the link in the description. You can join the voting tier or above. And yeah, I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers everybody. What a story, Karl or Lucas. That sure was a great video.
I wasn't sure what you were doing for a second.
So welcome to our shout-outs to our big PPs over on Patreon. And PP stands for Patreon Producer. We call them PPs because it's funny to say.
Karl, they're the big PP.
They are the big PPs, yes. And if you would like to become a big PP, you can follow the links found below to become a member of our Patreon and hear your name be shouted out like we're about to do now. And the first name to shout out, Lucas, is someone who's taken a gauntlet I threw down on the ground many, many months ago and decided to put a piece of poo in it and then slap me across the face with it by creating ever more elaborate and difficult tongue twisters. So the first person I need to shout out is through rough, cough, sloughing snuffles, brought tough, thought fraught throngs through slough, slight altins suppose the stress. And it appears that their name got cut off by the character limit over on Patreon, so do be aware of that. But I think I nailed that tongue twister. I also like as well, like referencing slough in a tongue twister. It's slough.
Or imagine being able to be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
And I'm going through some rough coughs at the moment, so it's quite fitting. So if I sound a little bit off, I'm just ill still, and I still want to be here to just shout out everyone and give thanks for support. So,
yes, literally fighting through illness. And before we did this, Lucas just looked at me like, Karl, I don't think I'm going to make it.
But the next person we have to thank for their lovely support is Daddy Grunt. And Karl, obviously, we could acknowledge Daddy part of Daddy Grunt, but I'm just going to say, in terms of grunting, in terms of, acting, what's your favourite kind of, effort in a video game or whatever?
There's a couple for me. I do like the efforts for Isaac Clarke in the Dead Space game, because all of his, grunts of just to the point where he literally starts shouting, fuck you, if you swing around his gun enough.
I was going to make a joke of, I like the noises that the grunts make in Halo when they're just and screaming.
What's your favourite grunt scream and why is it not again when they get hit by a plasma grenade? And the next person to shout out is somebody who has taken that poo-poo covered gauntlet I mentioned earlier, picked it back up off the floor and slapped me across the other cheek by coming up with a name that is a series of words in a language I do not speak. So let's give that a go, shall we? So, next person to shout out is Tinakwi, Hochata, Oxilane, Tomi, Sema, Sikapatia, Ta, Nitla, Maktia, Ipan, Kalta, Maktilioyan. And if I've mispronounced that, I'm very, very sorry. If you can't tell, I'm very bad at pronouncing words I'm not familiar with. So I deeply apologise for my bad pronunciation, but I do get the feeling that the person who picked that as their name on Patreon kind of wanted to see me fail a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just the thing is, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much where we're going to get cancelled for have you heard how bad that pronunciation is, but enough where they can be look at this fucking dude just struggle.
Playa, Yakur.
Of the volcano. Aya Fiatla Yurga. Here.
Eja Fiatla
Joku. I mean, speaking of struggling, Karl, I don't even have words for the next shout out, so
that's what I mean. People have these gauntlets. I feel like there's multiple gauntlets now with multiple kinds of poo in them that people are throwing at us left and right. So the next person has not even submitted a name; they've submitted a story told via emojis. So Lucas, what is this story?
I don't necessarily know what the story is. I can't quite grasp it, but it does appear to be a series of faces made out of punctuation. So I'm gonna do my best to describe what I see.
So Lucas, I now get to say one of my favourite lines from one of my favourite bad game shows. Say what you see.
£290. What do you think it is? Tip the waiter?
I see burning dragon, uwu face, happy face, glasses face, maybe butt cheeks, little jazz hands face, and then an angry face throwing a table, a very scared looking face. Yeah, did I just absolutely fail at getting the prize in catchphrase?
No one will ever fail harder than just a snake charmer. We mention it all the time. I'm putting the clip in again.
Means concentrate. Here we go. Sean. Snake charmer.
And the next person to shout out is Rosalindus Memphis. And we need to shout out Rosalindus Memphis, one, for their long-time support, because I recognise this name. It's been in multiple of these big PP shout-outs. And also for just having a nice, short, easy-to-pronounce name that doesn't embarrass myself or Lucas.
True.
And I mentioned in the last big PP shout-out, I do try to put in a fun clip for each person's name when we shout them out. And the one I keep trying to put in for Rosalindus Memphis is a song with the word Memphis in it.
I find it funny, Karl, because I said months and months ago now that you're going to regret throwing this challenge down so hard, and now here we are. But somebody else that has kept it simple is Kicking Bucket, who also has decided to, I think it was last month, they added in also having a table flip emote in there. So we've got multiple little angry table flip emotes in there.
And Kicking Bucket is a euphemism for, just eating shit. So, Lucas, what's the most you've eaten shit recently in a video game?
I mean, I've been playing Hollow Knight Silk Song, Karl. So
say no more.
All I can see in my head is just Horner, just shut.
Well, for me, it's Borderlands, because I bought Borderlands 4, and I shit you not, it won't boot up.
Oh my god.
It crashes on boot if you're connected to the internet.
It just dies, it kills itself.
It literally, as soon as you start the game, it crashes on boot. So I think the entire game refusing to play. That's the entire game just died. It's great. Amazing. Fuck you, fix that shit, Randy. Premium games, premium players, they won't even boot up without being connected to the internet. Fucking legendary. The next person to shout out is Lucille DeSteele. And Lucas, I've kind of been, taking the reins on this one, because Lucille DeSteele is another long-time supporter, and I keep putting in clips of real steel. So instead of me putting in a clip from one of my favourite, comfort movies, guilty pleasure movies, whatever you want to call it, what's a guilty pleasure / comfort movie for you I can put a clip in from?
Hopefully you can get away with putting a clip in, but my answer is going to be Lilo and Stitch, and not because it's necessarily a guilty pleasure film, but more I take a lot of guilty pleasure in the amount of just Stitch merchandise I constantly buy.
Yeah, and I'd say you get to pick which clip I'm going to put in, but it's of course where Lilo just absolutely goes to town on that little girl and starts delivering the hammer fists.
You're crazy.
Why do they not teach the little girl playing Lilo in the live action reboot MMA shit so she could just deliver the beatdown of all beatdowns?
So this is where you get her in the arm lock. Oh god. And the next person we have to thank, Karl, is Bee of Awesome, who has provided the answer to the riddle that they provided last month, which I'm a big fan of. The idea of giving us a month worth of setup and then a month worth of payoff.
And Lucas, would you like to remind people of the riddle they posed to us last month? Because that's another fun thing people are doing with the big PP shout-outs of posing questions and riddles to us that we have to answer. It's answer me my riddles 3.
So Bee of Awesome, the answer to last week's riddle, what lies on the ground 100 feet in the air? It is an upside-down centipede. And
should have seen that one come in.
Yeah, I read that and was how does that make any sense? Why would there be any...
We admitted to not cheating. We could have cheated for that riddle and made us look really smart, but we figured we could cheat for the riddle and look smart, but then people are going to see us try and pronounce these foreign words and just then know we're not that smart. But the next person to shout out is ghost emoji, little ghost emoji, and it is spooky month. Lucas, do you have a favourite ghost or character who is now a ghost? That's not going to be too much of a spoiler.
Well, I'm going to go with Pokemon, as I do love Pokemon, and I'm going to say Mimikyu, because
that's fair.
It's quite fitting for October, I'd say. It's in permanent outfit of Pikachu cosplay, because if it's not
wearing a Halloween costume, right?
It's literally wearing a Halloween costume, but if the Halloween costume falls off, everybody dies.
I know it can't be, but could it be? Pikachu's hair!
And then next person we have to thank, Karl, is Split Scream, another person that has just, gracefully not punished us, so I have to thank them for that.
And their name is Split Scream, and we are in Spooky Month, as mentioned. So, Lucas, is there a favourite example you have of what I like to refer to as scream acting, which is where actors just scream real loud and it's very convincing, or, at the very least, entertaining?
Well, my favourite moment of scream acting is in the movie Scream, where they...
I knew it. I knew it. When Matthew Lillard just gnaws on the scenery. Yeah,
yeah, of course. The faking death moment, just, the reveal. It's yeah.
That's right. You gave it up. Now you're no longer a virgin. That virgin. Now you gotta die. Those are the rules.
My favourite example of like proper scream acting is Shalto Copley in District 9, where he's just screaming in like with his really broad South African accent, like "Fuck you, you fucking prawns." He's so good. He spends half that movie just fucking screaming, and then the other half annihilating people with pigs launched at Mach 3.
Not the Mach 3 pigs.
No one wants the Mach 3 pig. Except for Shalto Copley, because he's like, fucking prawns! And last but not least, we have to shout out Ranma Tami. And it's really fun as well, because like when I booted up my computer this morning to start work, I saw we had like a Patreon subscribe, and it was Ranma Tami. I'm like, that's perfect. Me and Lucas are doing the shout outs later today. They picked us at the post and got it at the last possible second to get their name in the credits.
There's my name right there.
Ranma Tami.
Looks more like Brad Storch. No, it says Betty. Betty Symington. That's for taking credit for other people's work.
We appreciate the support of our big PPs. Our PPs are just everyone who watches these videos, especially if you're watching it to the end and seeing us talk now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all next time.